I know. She keeps setting it up. Oh, it's gonna be her part first.
I think so, because I like her part first.
I know, that's true. You did.
Oh, is it my part?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so. You have to switch if you want to. You can go like 4 slides ahead and then do your switch when you want to.
Yeah.
Who made this PowerPoint?
Maybe I did. Depending on your comments.
Okay, did you already start? Please tell me you didn't start.
No. Go ahead.
I heard
Okay, all right. Hi, guys. Okay, today we're doing educational groups again, of course, and this time with the example of time management, which is a huge skill that people need to succeed in life, obviously. And it had a variation of this quote in the book, but I've always loved this quote by Benjamin Franklin. Dost thou love life, then don't squander time, for it's what life is made up of. And back when I was like in middle school, this really hit me hard because I was even worse of a procrastinator back then. And I'd like to say that, you know, that's all gone. It's not at all. But it says in the book, like, when people fail to accomplish important tasks, it's often because they're not well organized. And I don't always agree with this statement because some people can be incredibly organized and still fail at their goals. But it definitely helps. And having goals and setting standards for yourself is one of the best ways to reach those goals and feel like you've accomplished things in life. The reason that they use this as an example for educational groups is because when you look back on your life, and if you don't think you've done much with your life, it can lead to feelings of failure and even depression. So it's really important that we know how to, in our own lives, accomplish our goals, but also how to help others accomplish their goals. So that's what today is about. All right. Oh.
That's it?
Yes, that is the end of the techno. So the orders are really simple. I feel like most of us know these steps of setting goals. We don't want to just set short-term goals like for the day, the week, a few months from now. We also want to set long-term goals for our lives. Most of us have done that. We wanted to come to college. We wanted to get a degree. So we're working on that. Then prioritize goals. Lunch sometimes feels like the most important thing, but maybe finishing an assignment or class is actually the most important thing. List tasks that you have to do within those goals. Then you have to prioritize those tasks. And then scheduling tasks. So this one probably has the most to it, the scheduling of tasks. First, it suggested to use your internal prime time, which is really important to find because as we all know, most of us have that. Right? Sometimes we like waking up early to do work, probably not many of us. A lot of us work better in the evenings. Some people say they work best in the middle of the night. So when you're scheduling in what you have to do in the day, remember what's your prime time for working. And the things that are at the top of your list, the priorities, the things that need to be done and done well, make sure you schedule those in to your prime time. Also under scheduling tasks are these three right here. Be flexible. We all know that things pop up throughout the day. We can have the best schedule in the world, but it's probably going to change. Next is the 80-20 rule. This is something I don't remember very often. That, you know, the things that are the most important, that 80%, are probably going to come from 20% of the tasks. Not everything is the end of the world, and we often forget that, and so that makes it really hard to prioritize. when you remember that 80% of the important stuff is probably going to be taken up by 20% of the tasks, that can help us organize and stop us from freaking out. Also, allow extra time for tasks in both social psychology and, no, it was cognitive psychology and in social psychology. I can't exactly remember the term, but it was, Kylie, do you know the term of like when you think you have more time than you do?
Oh,
Or like when the task is like, oh, it takes longer than we think it's going to.
Yes.
We know the term, but
I don't know, no. I don't know what you're talking about.
it's a real thing, and it can really, obviously. And even though none of us can remember the term, it can really mess up your scheduling, and yeah, can cause you to lose lots of sleep, which never works well. So, to save us from some of these downfalls and to keep us on track, Nicole's going to talk about some time saver tips.
Okay, so the book talks about some time saver tips that can help, people or students or whoever, needs help with that. The first one that it talks about is planning tomorrow. So that just means writing down in your calendar what you need to get done, like a to-do list, so that the next day you know what to do, and it kind of helps you be organized. The second one is concentrated study. So that means just taking 1 or 2 hours a day to study, and then take a break. So not 4 hours straight. Like for me, I do 1 to 2 hours because if I do all 4 hours or 5 hours, I don't really retain all the information needed. So I use that when I'm studying for important tests. It talks about the best use of time. So that means just using your time wisely, and just, how do I say? So the most important things that need to be done, you do those first, as not doing the least important things. That
Keep
makes
asking
sense.
yourself when you have time.
Yeah. And then writing papers or reports, and it talks about how just don't switch back and forth from writing a little on the paper and then doing something else, just sit out and do the whole thing. It talks about physical environment, which means just close your door and just, be alone and be able to concentrate on what you need to do. And just try not to be disturbed, because that can just distract you. So saying no assertively just means just saying no, like when friends want to hang out or do something, you just say no because you know you have something to do that's important just to get it done. So deadlines, it just means to set a deadline and just stick to it, Be optimistic, just be an optimist and just don't waste any time regretting or worrying about events that have not turned out well. And then it talks about an amount of sleep, and it just means try reducing your sleep by time, a half an hour, to see if you are as well effective as you were before.
Which I thought was a really different one. I didn't
Yeah.
expect that to be on the list.
Me neither. And then relaxation just means just to relax and not to stress out on things that you need to get done. So, and then it also talks about overcoming procrastination, and it talks about the Swiss cheese approach, which means that
It's a great name.
it just means that completion of the smaller task nibble away at the larger task until it's finally eliminated together. So an example would be having a research proposal to write for class, and then if you feel overwhelmed, just divide the task into smaller tasks just to get it done. So then,
Alright, that's most of our chapter. That's the end of our chapter. So, at the end, since this is literally 10 minutes,
yeah.
I'm gonna have everyone just get out a piece of paper and okay, you have to get out a piece of paper.
You get out two.
Please share if someone doesn't have it. And I know that that procrastination is one of the things that we struggle with most, and try not to do that. So instead of giving you guys homework, because that would be lame since you have so much time,
We don't want to do
I'm
that.
gonna have everyone just write out their own plan with some of these tips of 1, ways not to procrastinate, and 2, time-saver tips that you can use. If you want to look at the list, just let me know.
What are the instructions again?
Write down your own personal plan of like how to not procrastinate over the next. I know you have your planner, Kylie. I get that. I know some of you are really good at this, but I also know that like I need to do this sometimes. So.
Well, they tell you that the longer the wait, the wiser you become.
Yeah, that doesn't always work like, when it's 5 o'clock in the morning and you have something to do that day.
A lot.
So,
Choose time saver tip.
both, like, you can use either time saver tips or the procrastination, like, these sort of deals like the Swiss cheese approach. And it's basically your own plan of how to manage your time.
It doesn't have to be one of these, right?
It doesn't have to be. But if you haven't utilized one of them and you think it's a good idea, then by all means, please do.
Are we turning
No,
this in, or is
like
this for our own
kind of
benefit?
reducing your sleep by half an hour, because it should be like 3 hours.
Yeah, right? That's what I thought.
Yeah. You have any idea why that would work?
Well, there are some people who, like, I know lots of people who can sleep for like 9 to 10 hours straight, and if they can, they will. And they'd be just as effective. Like, so it's basically saying if you do that, you might still be effective with a half hour less of sleep. So just try it and see if you are.
I did 6 hours and it was kind of like high full time, so it didn't
Yeah.
finish better.
Saying no is one that I definitely have a problem with, because I'll be doing an assignment and people are like, hey, we're gonna go out to eat in like 10 minutes.
Oh, that's mine too.
Right? And so if I had someone, like even if I had someone else there that would be like, no, you need to do this, like that would help me. So like having someone to keep me accountable is one that I would use. Oh, yes. If I didn't have hard. It's hard.
In a system where you can't just like reach out and grab it.
Yes.
But use a reward and benefit. I'm just so like, if you get this done, you can go do this.
Yeah. I
That's
found
gonna
mine
go
like
first.
that. I kept getting
Distracting
interruptions,
you.
yeah.
Sure.
The writing papers was helpful to me because I do that. I'll like write a little bit and then go do something else, and then I have to reread my entire paper just so I can get out the same thing. Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't even have to make sense. You just write the whole thing and
Yeah.
hope that it makes sense.
Read through, make sure it's all in the same tense, and we're good to go.
Are you wanting these?
No, I kind of want you guys to keep them so that every once in a while you can like remind yourself. Maybe you're cleaning out, your bag at the end of the week or something. Like, oh yeah, don't procrastinate.